What's up, guys? This is Lucid Rain, and today we are basically going to talk about Twitch's downfall, for lack of a better term, and basically why they're being beaten by Kick, which is a new streaming platform. So, well, they're not being beaten in terms of streamers, but in terms of good changes, they are easily beating them. So recently, they they made they made a ton of bad changes, but the one that I saw a lot of people getting the most mad about was that you can only you can only have an ad on your screen take up 3% of the screen. So like if it was more than, I don't know what, I guess you get a some sort of strike or suspension if you don't do that. I'm not really sure what the consequences would be, but uh yeah, it has to not take up more than 3% of the screen. And a lot of people were like, obviously live off of sponsorships on there. So that was like absolutely devastating. And then I think it was Ninja. No, it was either Ninja. Was it Ninja or XQC that left because of that?
Well, Ninja left because he can't simulcast because he's
Yeah, that's
streamed on.
actually, wait. Maybe it was Asmongold. I forget who. So one of the point is, one of those huge streamers just is leaving the platform because of that change. So
Well, I'm pretty sure they walked back that change, if I'm not mistaken.
did they? The 3% thing?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. But then, yeah, like you said, Ninja um said he's leaving because they can't simulcast, which if you don't know what that means, it just means they can't stream on multiple things with Twitch. So they have to choose to only stream on Twitch and nothing else, or stream on everything else. And most people are probably just gonna choose to pick everything but Twitch, because why would you just limit yourself to only Twitch as if that's the biggest moneymaker or something, because it's not. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's like the stupidest thing.
Ninja was streaming to like who knows how many platforms, like the most random platforms ever you've never even heard of. He was streaming to all of them. So I think he's, more than happy to just brush off Twitch so that he can continue to stream it everywhere else.
One platform. Like, it's not a big deal for him to just exclude that one platform for him. I doubt that's even like a hit to him, really, as big as he is. I didn't know.
What is their logic behind all these moves?
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. It honestly seems like they're trying to kill the website as fast as possible. Like, it's literally what it feels like.
Well, for ads, I think because they have their own thing called the bounty board program, if I'm not sure. My mistake. If I'm not mistaken, which is like, ads, but it's baked into Twitch so that they could get more of a cut from it, right? So Twitch wants to basically monetize every single thing. They walked back the 3% change because of how upset people were. But I guess that's what they wanted, is people to sign up for this bounty board or whatever it is exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just want money from literally every single aspect of everything. Which is why we're trying to kill all sponsorships, because I don't think they get anything from that. So why do they care?
Yeah, they wouldn't. They want you to adhere to again, the bounty board. So kill off sponsorships that go straight to the creator. And make it go through Twitch, just like they want everything to go through Twitch.
Yeah, like it's kind of ridiculous. And so Kick, the competitor, at this point,
is that related to the messaging app at all?
No, it's not.
I was wondering that.
It's also spelled differently. It's spelled Kick. I think it is, at least. It's spelled Kick like kicking something, right?
Yeah, it's just normal spelling.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering
it's
that.
Not related. It's pretty new in the grand scheme of streaming platforms. So they have a way better revenue split for creators to Kick than Twitch, isn't it? It's like
95 creator,
like
5%.
90% or something like that. So that's like, that alone is kind of a reason to just go there. And plus, people are kind of migrating to there anyway. So there's that. And then they have this thing where you can literally make money an hour, like an hourly wage. Like it's like 16 an hour or something. But not everyone can get it. It's like you have to qualify for it. I'm not sure what the qualifications are exactly, but the fact that you can do that, as well as having the 95% split, is crazy. And like I feel like that's enough to get people to migrate, which people are, of course. So
Have either of you looked into the economics behind streaming? Like, how do these companies even make money? Exactly.
Twitch and Kick.
Yeah, Twitch, Kick.
Exactly. And that's probably why Twitch is being so heavy-handed, because, like, I mean, everyone always says that the Twitch, like, CEO does absolutely nothing, and he forgets that he even owns the company. So, you know, the CEO is really hands-off, and then all the people under the CEO are trying these ridiculously stupid changes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they just make money just through ads, right? And that's why.
Yeah,
I'm
just pretty sure that's probably their biggest moneymaker.
And then of course, you know, getting a cut from all the streamer shit, because that's what they really want to push now, is cutting into the streamers' profits like crazy. You know, a streamer breathes on company time, and they have something to say about it. They want a few cents from that breath.
Yeah, pretty much.
You would think Twitch would be clawing to get people and trying to be as favorable to everyone as they can, considering just how much people hate Twitch and the hypocrisy that goes on and the amount that people just shit on Twitch nonstop. I mean, I don't watch anyone on Twitch, but for a while there, it seemed like there was controversy after controversy.
Yeah.
Of them like banning certain people and not banning others for doing similar shit, and a lot of favoritism and different bullshit going on.
A lot of that.
And it seemed like people were not fans of that at all.
I mean, that's just the way a lot of these companies go in general, don't they? For a long time, they're creator-driven. You know, YouTube, Twitch. You know,
yeah, YouTube's not too different.
Yeah, just about every early website that was supposed to be content creator-driven ends up turning on them, doing a complete 180. You know, Twitch for a long time was better than YouTube in a lot of ways and did a lot of great changes, good things, and you know, Twitch was basically the place to be for a long time. And the terms of service was, you know, looser, so you didn't get, you know, in trouble for doing literally, you know, something slightly out of the norm. And of course, they started turning against the creators and, you know, not banning some people, banning other people, just complete favoritism. And I mean, once it was completely obvious that they picked favorites, apparently Twitch just didn't care anymore and just wanted to become total villains. And just all their policy changes were just essentially evil, you know, changing the revenue split. Ads. I mean, you can't even remember everything they've done because it's so ridiculous. Because they've been, you know, speed running horrible changes, like just in the past couple months. I can't remember a damn thing they did a year ago.
They had a thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was basically done.
I was gonna say they had a thing where guys could be like shirtless on stream and that was fine, but if you were not shirtless and then you became shirtless, that counted as stripping, so you would get banned for that. Absolutely just nonsensical like rules on there.
I mean, I'll give you this. There's the world is, especially in later years, the world has just gotten weirder and weirder, so it's pretty hard to play to most people's sensibilities just with how wacky everything is. So I'm sure like a platform like streaming or YouTube, they're kind of in a shitty situation just with pleasing people. And I mean, you have so many people that want to bitch about everything, so they kind of have to play everything safe.
Yeah, that is true, but at the same time, I mean, I would hope that most people know that the talents under these companies are not like the company themselves has nothing to do with if someone takes their shirt off on on stream. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you know just as well as I do, man. People look at that and no one can separate one thing from another
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. I mean, there is a lot of that going into Kick, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So it is true.
Yeah, and I don't think they realize like maybe these stupid changes are just a product of them thinking they're kind of so big that they can do no wrong and that it won't hurt the company no matter what they do. That's kind of my theory. But
Who
YouTube
the
is
fuck knows
always
what they're thinking?
who knows, but I don't think they realize that people don't follow creators on Twitch for Twitch. They follow the creators because they like those creators. If those creators move, they're going to move with them most likely.
Well, boy, do I have a statistic for you. Let's see here. Yeah, so Kick got over 1 million signups in 24 hours when it was announced that XQC would be going to Kick. 1 million, 24 hours.
That's wild. I mean, yeah, he's absolutely massive. He's one of the biggest streamers.
It's crazy because I never fucking heard of him.
Yeah, he's just a really big streamer. Pretty much is, I don't know. I don't think he's has as many like followers as Ninja, but he's definitely just as watched as Ninja, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, unless I've been out of the loop for a long time, I'm pretty sure that XQC, has been way over Ninja for a long time. I mean, of course, Ninja's peak was when he was playing Fortnite. Then he moved to Mixer. Then he came back, left Mixer, and I believe like he still got a lot of views, but like, I mean, XQC I believe was still getting like double normally, but I'm not completely sure about that. Either way, I'm pretty sure XQC had more viewers. I believe, but
Yeah, I'm sure he does. But like, yeah, you can see with that statistic, like, if that's probably just from one creator being XQC. That's like 1 million. What is it? 1 million signups in 24 hours.
yeah, over
Imagine if this has a domino effect, and just more and more big streamers leave. It's gonna be even more than that. Signing up on Kick.
Amaranth just got signed to Kick.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Who was that?
She's she has like pool streams or like bathing suit stream. I don't even know how to describe her. She's just like
She is a attractive woman that people
she just talks.
enjoy.
Like she doesn't do anything. I don't think.
Streaming.
She's a big.
I'm gonna level with you. Streaming confuses me. It makes me feel like an old man because I just don't get it. Like I don't see the allure.
Yeah, I mean personally, I like pre-made like YouTube content a lot more, but I can see why people like streaming. But
well, yeah, I mean,
I guess it's like anything. It's about you enjoy someone's personality, I guess.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of things that go into it, though. Like since it's streamed, obviously, watching it back is not going to be nearly as interesting unless you're watching like an edited YouTube video. If you're just watching the stream, the VOD back, then I mean you can't contribute to the chat. You're not there when it happens.
Yeah, that's true.
So like there's obviously a degree of like FOMO and whatnot. And you want to be involved with the community and the people talking.
It's basically just interaction is the allure of it, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, and also like a big thing with streaming is that, a lot of people when streaming got big just kind of opened up a stream in a different tab and then just played a game and just listened to the stream for hours. Instead of having a video they have to pay attention to, they just have some random stream of someone that's either really chill and they don't have to pay attention, or well, you pick your poison, whatever you want. You watch the stream while you do something else. That's a big thing with streaming, at least to my experience.
I mean, I'll give you this. It is definitely a thing that has taken off, especially recently. Because I mean, you have people like Aiden Ross and Kay Sienta, however the fuck you say his name.
Not, yeah.
Yeah, like they're household names. Like I know who they are, and I haven't watched any of their shit at all.
Yeah, I mean these streamers are some of the like they're
They're
big
legitimate
streamers,
celebrities.
pretty much at this point. I mean, people know them. You don't even really have to watch streaming to know these people.
Crazy. It's not like they do much. Like it seems like
A
an
lot
easy
of them
gig.
don't.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that people say they might not do much, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of these people are streaming for 10+ hours every day.
Yeah, they have endurance, that's for
and
sure.
yeah, and providing like entertainment, being present, having to constantly think of shit to do and say on stream. It's a stand-up act, but of course, not as difficult as a stand-up act, but it's still a stand-up act for way longer than anyone has to do it on stage. So
Yeah.
like you're still doing something, maybe not physically, but it's taxing mentally to have to constantly be entertaining. And you might have your opinions that some people are not entertaining, and maybe you tune in and every time you just see them sitting there not saying anything. But
I respect that.
yeah, either way, some people are high energy, some are not, and either way you have to be present for the most part.
Yeah, and Aiden Ross is like, he's absolutely massive, but he's just hated at the same time. Like, like people just, I don't know. It's weird how that works sometimes.
Well,
You'll see these people that literally have millions of subs and followers, whatever it is, and then you just hear nothing but bad things about them. It's like, so who's watching them then?
I mean,
Is it just a vocal minority or what?
if you really want to get into it, like at first, I don't think it was like too many people hated him at first when he was first growing, but then people started having a bone to pick with him when he started hanging out with Andrew Tate and taking inspiration from him and basically being mentored by Andrew Tate.
There's I don't want to cut you off, but there is a couple other creators that they get their name lumped in with Andrew Tate, and then pretty much the internet just turns against them, and it's kind of crazy to see. Like Sneeko, I mean, a lot of people love that guy, and he was kind of on the rise, and then the Andrew Tate, connections started coming up, and then he kind of disappeared.
To be honest, I don't know what Sneeko has to do with Andrew Tate. I just know that, honestly, I don't know what the hell Sneeko did. I just know he had that beef with Moist Critical.
That was my
Charlie.
first time even hearing his name. I had no idea who he was before that.
I had watched several of his interviews from when he first started and kind of when he started gaining traction, and I thought he was an entertaining guy and seemed pretty, pretty sensible and like a rational thinker. But you definitely could see his. Anytime you get politics involved with shit, like most of the time, it's a shit show.
Yeah,
I mean, I stay as far away from politics as I can, no matter what.
Yeah.
I think politics are a sham anyway.
Yeah,
like fuck that
I've
shit.
had that opinion since I was young.
It's never good to, like, in any content creator field, it's never good to bring that stuff up, because then you get people that are just like, wow, I don't agree with that, so I'm never gonna watch you ever again. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is everyone has an opinion about everything, so not offending somebody is pretty much impossible. Like, you're going to offend someone. So, I mean, I guess that's something that's hard about being an entertainer, is kind of navigating that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. I will admit that I do watch. Well, I mean, it's not something to admit. It's not like, I should be lynched for watching something. But I do watch XQC, and he gets a bad rap a lot of the time because he has some strange views, and more than anything, he explains things like horribly. Um, the way I always see it is he doesn't like he knows he's a super big streamer, but at the same time he almost doesn't. He just kind of says the first thing that comes to mind, and people have this image of him, that he's like a bad person and misogynistic and this, that, and the third. Whatever he may be, of course I don't know, but I just feel like he kind of gets, lumped in with a lot of views. I mean, again, this guy is streaming hours at a time. English isn't even his first language. Like he has a terrible time articulating some of his thoughts. Maybe he's a horrible person. Who knows? I guess I wouldn't know. But
Well, I'll give you this: if you are in the public eye for hours every single day, you're bound to say something that
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
a massive amount of people take offense to. And
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. I mean, the man is on camera every day, hours a day,
All day, basically.
Yeah, all day, every day. I mean, who the hell does he? He doesn't talk to anyone on the real, almost, right? Like, when does he even have time to talk to someone?
Yeah, right.
With his actual internal thoughts, he kind of doesn't. So he just says everything, to himself.
it's kind of a sad life, really.
Maybe, but he does seem to enjoy it. At least, yeah. I mean, he seems to.
Yeah, I mean, he's
So-
making really good money, I'm sure. So
Yeah, to sit there and like scrutinize everything he says and whatnot. I mean, I think it's a little much. Maybe there's definitely been some things that he's said and done that's like, okay, that's a bit weird. But like, you'll see a headline talking about the most random, meaningless shit that he knows nothing about that he talked about, and people are picking it apart and scrutinizing it. Like, bro, this is just some celebrity. Like, this man is he's a clown for entertainment. He's a stageman. He ain't no politician. He ain't,
yeah.
This is not someone that you should take all his opinions completely to heart.
In a way,
Which, I mean,
streaming.
you have to have a discernible eye and ear for anyone. I think that's kind of lost, especially lately. People just have their opinion and they pretty much can't be swayed. So it's either you
Yeah.
agree with me or you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, slight detour of what we're talking about. Something that happens all the time. Japanese game developers, Hideo Kojima or anyone, just any Japanese celebrity that has a big audience that speaks English, they'll like tweet or whatever in English. I don't know if they have a translator or, I guess not. They tweet in English and it's not their first language and people scrutinize it like
Yeah,
crazy.
all the time.
And it's just like, guys, this person does not even speak English if they don't have to. Like, they
Yeah,
don't
right.
even understand English that well. I guess you could say, oh, well, then he shouldn't tweet in English. But like, just why do you care so much? That
Yeah.
like, he
seriously.
he may have literally just mistyped, or maybe he was using a translation program. What then? What are you gonna blame the program that translated it?
Yeah, people pick apart literally anything.
People just want something to complain about. I mean, social media is a cesspool anymore.
Yeah.
And that includes YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everything.
Yeah, like in terms of people saying controversial things on stream, streaming's kind of dangerous in that regard, because like if you're streaming all the time, like Chris said, you are bound to say something that offends someone at some point, because it's not like you can edit it, it's live, right? So like
Yeah.
that's
But
like
on
How
the-
many
the
people have
downside.
got canceled from Twitch and had their lives pretty much turned upside down? I mean, do you know of any big cases where somebody said something and it basically got, snowballed and
well,
basically fucking wrecked them?
mostly with like talking about stuff, not really, because like the thing about canceling is that you have to convince the people's audience that they did wrong, right? So like if someone such as Aiden Ross or XQC, who already has a fan base that agrees with what they say, sometimes blindly. They might have the most ridiculous take of all time, but the fans are still gonna support them either way. So, like, yeah, canceled by their fan base and their life spiraling, I haven't really seen it happen too much, but, like, canceled on Twitter, I mean, that's a different thing, right? Like, essentially, when you really get down to it, is there any streamer that isn't canceled by Twitter? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
just about
Twitter.
every streamer has said something that Twitter did not like, and they're canceled on there. And every time they're talked about, they're this evil, horrible person or something.
I think majority of the time it's people that are outside the fan base, like that specific creator's fan base.
Yeah,
that
no,
are
exactly.
complaining about the really minuscule things that just don't matter at all. It's because if your fan base is complaining a lot and you're getting canceled by them, you're probably done. Like, I feel like that'd be hard to
Yeah.
come back from.
Yeah.
Because
And usually when that happens, it's when you're just a genuinely bad person.
yeah, I mean, if you either do something heinous or say something heinous, then and your fan base is like leaving and stuff, it's like you were probably not coming back from that.
Yeah, I feel like YouTubers usually end up having shit like that happen to them
They
more
do.
than any other platform.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. YouTube's probably like
I mean,
the
just
biggest
look at
one with
the Illuminati was kind of the big one that just happened, where that saga and all that shit's still kind of going on, but I mean that bitch is kind of trash.
who's
Oh,
is that
Illuminati? Right.
Yeah,
I heard
she's the
something
fucking
about
worst.
that.
I didn't hear
what's
about that.
what's going on with that? If there's a short and skinny of it, because I heard about that, but
Basically, editors from Legal Eagles team went to her editors and asked how did they achieve this effect? They're like, if an easy way to say, hey, what did you use to do this effect? And then they went and said, no, we're not going to tell you. And I guess Legal Eagle went and just producers or whatever, editors, just made it themselves. But then she went and tried to cancel Legal Eagle, saying that he what's the right word? Plagiarized her, which
Okay.
like no one owns the editing software. Like
yeah.
thousands and thousands of creators use the same plugins and effects and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they're saying they plagiarized them because they use the same effect in the same editing software, or
Yeah, she tried to say that, and it basically blew up in her face. And then it came out to all these things where she was basically trying to ruin one of her former colleagues or someone that she worked with a lot and collaborated a lot with. Basically tried to say that he was a groomer and make a whole bunch of baseless accusations against the
Jesus.
guy and fuck that guy's life up. And then she got caught plagiarizing complete whole paragraphs of excerpts,
oh my
line
God.
for line, for some of her documentaries off of previous documentaries that people had done, and not even changing a single word. And there was a bunch of evidence of her basically just this whole thing has actually been going on for a while, because I've listened to a lot of her videos, and I think she's pretty articulate, but I don't think she's that interesting. And she pretty much just has something super negative to say about like pretty normal companies like Salvation Army. Like, those people stand outside and take donations for fucking kids. What possibly could you have to say about them? Like, it's basically she rides for the LGBTQ plus, and any company that slides on the conservative side of things, she tries to do a smear campaign documentary against them, pretty much. And some of the companies genuinely have shady practices, but she's doing the same shit. Like, she's kind of been shown to be a piece of shit, so it's really hard to take someone serious who's trying to point out, bad things about companies when they're literally doing some of the same shit. Like,
So
it's super
she's just coming
hypocritical.
at everyone.
Yeah, I mean that's all she does is her documentaries are pretty much just complaining. It started out with her talking about multi-level marketing schemes,
Yeah.
and then it kind of just delved into her making smear campaigns against pretty much every company. And I'm pretty much anti-government, anti-capitalism as anyone. So defending companies, like, I think that kind of shows you how big of a piece of shit she is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, yeah, like Chris said, like I didn't really mind anything she said in the past because, yeah, I mean it was companies, but I mean I don't want to give my opinion too hard on the matter because I don't really know what's going on. But I did actually watch Illuminati in the past as well, and then like I just feel like her content just got like too samey, too boring, and too like scrutinizing. Yeah, yeah, to some degree, but also like you said, like just targeting the most random specific companies, like and like calling them the devil just because like they do one thing that you kind of don't like, like the Salvation Army or whatever. And then yeah, all of a sudden I hear like apparently she's doing all this, scum shit. I'm like, all right, Jesus, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when people have like this moral high ground that they think they're on, and they are pretty much hypocritical and pieces of shit, and it's kind of like, all right, well, you're on your fucking high horse, and you're showing yourself to be a piece of shit, and you're still on your high horse. Like, it makes you not endearing at all. Like, it pretty much makes you feel like a supervillain. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the lady personally. I don't really like give a fuck if she has a career, if she doesn't, if she makes videos, if she doesn't. It doesn't really matter to me one way or another. But personally, I want to watch her because I don't like hypocritical bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's always those people that just go after anything just to stay relevant. Because I don't know if that's the case here, but that a lot of the time that is the case because they are losing relevancy and they just want to be part of the conversation again. So they just go after something and just start some random drama for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, you see companies do it. They pretty much
Companies do that, yeah.
go after the marginalized group of people that are the loudest, and usually catering to them for some reason works for them, even though majority of the time, when we saw it with Bud Light, you target the marginalized demographic that's a very few amount of people, but they're the loudest, and you realize, hey, majority of people are quiet and are sensible and conservative and don't want shit shoved down their throat. Like,
Yeah.
and I know this conversation is kind of taking a turn from talking about Twitch and shit, but
No, it's fine. I mean, it's still YouTube related, so it's kind of YouTube and Twitch topic for this, so it's whatever.
I don't know. I mean, I guess Twitch doesn't have the same problems as YouTube. It's kind of like,
Well, I mean, YouTube is bad for completely different reasons. So they're both kind of trash, but
YouTube is so big at this point that, I mean, I don't know what I would do without YouTube. When I'm bored,
yeah.
I just throw a YouTube video on.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
There's still a lot of creators that put a lot of effort into their content.
Yeah.
So, like, you always have some videos that you can go back to and kind of appreciate, even in light of YouTube pretty much shitting the bed every other day.
I don't really want YouTube to get a competitor. I just want them to make YouTube like a better place. Because I mean, like you said, there's so many channels already on there I follow that we all follow. I have my own channel, and if I wouldn't have want to migrate to something else, especially something new or any, so that's just a whole lot of work. If there was a competitor that was just doing everything better than YouTube and was growing super fast, like
how much do you guys know about Rumble?
what is that?
Nothing. All I know is that, like, honestly, nothing. I think I heard that, like, Rumble doesn't even take like any money from the streamer. Like the
is that
split is 100% streamer or something. I
is
don't
that
know.
a YouTube or not YouTube, a video platform?
Some
Yeah.
kind of YouTube platform, I believe, streaming, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's ever even come close to like dethroning or even competing with YouTube. Like for a while, there's been a bunch of those random little ones that would pop up. They would always die in like a year. Like remember Storyfire and how that was big for a little while?
No.
Yeah, no.
Storyfire, basically everyone was moving to that. Not everyone. A lot of people were moving to that, saying not even moving, just making a channel on there in case YouTube absolutely like was irredeemable and in the dirt. So a bunch of people made an account on there, and it died in less than a year. And one of the people on there was Leafy, and we actually talked about it. We made an episode about how
Yeah, we made that was a long time ago.
it was a long time ago.
I remember that.
Keemstar,
Yeah, that place is irrelevant.
It is.
Keemstar made a channel on there. Optimus made a channel on there. Quite a few people that were pretty big made a channel on there, and it just absolutely died. Like no one goes on Storyfire anymore. And I don't think anything's ever gonna come up that actually competes with YouTube. So our best bet is just to hope YouTube just gets better. Honestly,
Well,
I think
they are under new
YouTube is.
management, I believe.
They are.
They're what?
He said they're under new management.
oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because Susan, whatever her name is, left or stepped down or whatever happened to her. So
I think YouTube is pretty cyclical. It seems like because you see kind of the beginnings of YouTube. You would have people getting kind of big on there, then they would have their own website that they put their videos on, and then they'd be like try and basically get people onto their videos and direct their traffic onto their website. And I see more people doing that nowadays as well. And especially with the whole streaming and people paying money for content, people are trying to really jump on that wave and get paid, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I have like Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime.
There's so
And-
many.
And
Like,
after that money gets taken out of my paycheck, I'm like, I can't fucking afford to subscribe to one person's channel that makes content. Like, it's fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous. You know?
right.
I don't know if you guys have like similar thoughts on that, but I just don't know how people are making money off of this shit. Like, how many people really have a disposable income in a market like this? Like, the economy is
mean-
kind of in the shit.
Not even like disposable income to me. Like in general, I just don't want to. I mean, it'd be nice to support people directly like that, of course, but I personally don't really want to spend $5 on this person, that person, that person, that person. Because like, when does
Well,
it
here's
end?
the thing.
Yeah,
You-
right.
If you're paying for like 4 or 5 Patreons or something, you know, just for instance, you're probably getting $60-$70 taken out of your bank account every month.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wrap my head around it. Maybe I'm just super cheap.
I mean, I feel like it used to be worse a little bit ago when like, you know, the whole like adpocalypse thing a few years ago, when people were like, yeah, YouTube's dead, absolutely dead, there's no money to be made on here. And for a while that was true, kind of. And so everyone made a Patreon, and everyone was like, hey, we're not going to force you to do anything, but if you want to support me and make me keep doing what I'm doing, someone is going to have to pay my Patreon, basically.
I mean, I definitely think it's a good thing, and if you do support someone, you know, it's nice to be able to get extra
Yeah, for
content
sure.
and kind of get extra things and show that you support them and kind of get a benefit for supporting them. I mean, I think it's a cool concept.
yeah, I have no
I just
problems
am
with
saying personally, like, there's no creator that I support enough that I'd be willing to give my hard-earned money, because it's hard-earned money is hard to come by.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, and at the end of the day, depending on who it is. I mean, some of these people have more money than you can even imagine. So giving them your $5 is I mean, some of these creators, you know, for instance on Twitch, I mean, a lot of these creators will tell you keep your money because for one, they don't need it. They won't need it for a long time because they've made more money than you can imagine off being on Twitch sometimes. And yeah, I mean, you should look after yourself first, you know, because there's always going to be that guy in the streamer's stream that comes in and drops hundreds or you know thousands of dollars.
I will
you know,
never
somehow, some way.
Like, are these
I
people
think
just
that
insanely, like rich or like what is up with that?
I think to your point, Adam, someone saying like, "Don't, I'm doing well. Don't worry. Just enjoy the content. Like that's enough." Like those are the people that you see that kind of attitude. You're probably going to be more likely to watch them rather than people that are money grubby. And I don't know if you remember the controversy where that chick was literally yelling at her subscribers to like give her money and calling them poor and being like, "You have why don't you guys get jobs so you can support me?" Pretty much, it's like, where the fuck do you get off?
Yeah, like what in the world, dude?
I mean, just about every big streamer, for the most part, again, they have more money than they even know what to do with some of the time. And in addition to that, so many people have so much money that a lot of the big streamers, you know, still get excited for, you know, someone giving $100. You know, not to harp on the same ones over and over again or just the biggest ones, but there's no better example than XQC, really. I mean, the man just signed a $100 million deal to go to Kick. And
Jesus Christ,
you know,
how the fuck does Kick have this money to throw around?
Oh, I'll get to that, but yeah, I mean, you know, he still said, you know, he still, you know, like he still acts surprised when he gets $100. Like in the grand scheme of things, he probably doesn't care too much, but he still gives the effort to be like, "You're crazy, thanks for the money." You know, he never says, "Oh, thanks, idiot," lol. Like, he still gives the effort. Even if it's genuine or not, I don't think it even matters too much. He still gives the effort to commend the people that give the money.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, that's just
without them,
wild.
You're not being able to stream anyway. So I mean, if you try and isolate your fan base, it doesn't take that much to turn especially when there's a lot of people grouped together. It only takes one big thing to piss everyone off and basically have your stock fucking plummet. I mean, it only takes one thing that really pisses people off. Like, if you're ungrateful, that's pretty much the easiest way to have everyone be like, "Fuck this guy."
No.
It's just crazy because they are fine. Most of these big streamers, donations are not. So that's just like an added bonus, like on top of what they're getting, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we should talk about the whole creation of Kick, because isn't it, what's his name that like founded Kick? He's like already a streamer, isn't he?
Well, yeah, Trainwreck is a partial.
Trainwreck, yeah.
I don't know if he's a partial owner / you know, whatever you would call him. Yeah, he, you know, partial founder, partial owner, whatever the hell you'd call it exactly. He's, you know, he's a streamer, and he had ties with Stake, the people who, you know, like a gambling platform or whatever. And Kick is also partially owned by the person who owns Stake. So that's, you know, that's how Kick got created. That's how Kick has money as well, is because they're, you know, closely linked with Stake. And that's how they have money to throw around. And yeah, I mean, that's another big thing with Stake, is that it allows gambling streams when Twitch now does not. And
which that kind of seems like a good thing with Twitch, because gambling is like kind of not something I think we should promote, just because it's kind of it creates dangerous habits. I don't know if you guys do sports betting at all. Like, I've delved into it a little bit, and you can lose money so fucking fast.
I
and
believe
put
it.
yourself in a bind.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. So that sounds kind of shady. Like somebody who's a company that's deeply into gambling is trying to, I don't know. I don't know that much of that I would be able to speak on it, but to me that sounds kind of fucked.
I mean, don't worry. You'll get I'm sure you'll get, video documentaries 5 years down the line about Kick and how it's secretly being puppet mastered by Stake. But to be honest, it's kind of just like out. Excuse me. It's kind of just like out there. It's not really like a hidden thing. I don't really have an opinion either way about gambling streams. I think just about everyone has their own valid criticisms on it, to be honest. I don't gamble with anything, but whatever. But yeah, like gambling.
I guess the problem that the problem that I would see in it is the majority of people that view streams, I would think, are from a younger demographic, and they're highly impressionable. So putting that shit to the forefront and then people watching that type of shit, like you're kind of reinforcing bad habits.
Yeah, which is a valid criticism. The only thing I think, and again, I don't watch gambling streams, so I wouldn't really know like how open the streamers are about this, but Stake gives a lot of the big streamers money to gamble because they know that obviously putting gambling websites owned by Stake at the forefront is going to make people want to gamble. There's no there's no opinion behind that. That's a fact, of course. You put something in front of someone, they're more exposure, more people are going to use it. So that's the only thing I think is a bit weird and shady, is that I don't think that streamers are very open with the fact that it's not even their money for a lot of the time. But at the same time, a lot of these streamers do lose all their Stake money, and then put their own money in. So I guess at the same time, it's not really fair to say they only ever use Stake's money. I do believe they dip into their own funds to continue gambling. I mean, more than anything, it's just a study into how addictive it is. And even people who do these gambling streams will tell you that it's addictive.
Yeah, I kind of can't get behind like watching that. Like the people that do it, sure, whatever, you can do that. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Sure, you can get something out of it. But watching it is odd to me because like, what do you get from that? Like you're just watching someone possibly win big or not win anything at all. And what does it matter either way to you as a viewer? Because like you're just, I don't know. I don't see the entertainment.
I mean, you could say that about any content, though, really.
Yeah, I guess. But
so.
like, I don't know. The few times I've opened a gambling stream, I was so like surprised and awestricken by how ridiculous it all was that I just sat there and watched it for like an hour straight. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like the streamer was jumping between like 10 different games, screaming.
Oh,
there's like 10 people like in a Discord with them, like cheering on if they got a win. It was just ridiculous.
Well, I guess you could see the allure of it, because anytime money is involved, people get emotional. And if you are throwing around large amounts of money and you do get addicted to that, and you're a streamer and you're dipping into your own funds and you're addicted to it and you can't stop and end up losing a lot of your money, and you're basically watching someone's downfall. I mean, people love that shit,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
people love drama, and that's as dramatic as it gets, is somebody literally staking their livelihood on fucking games. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, if they're, I guess like Adam said, if they're like making it entertaining by having like wild reactions and shit, and they're with multiple people, then like maybe, but that's not what I envisioned when I thought of gambling streams. I've never clicked on one, so I wouldn't know, but I was just
I'm not too familiar with them either.
Yeah, I was just thinking like just a singular person just kind of gambling on stream and then just people watching them do so. Like I wasn't really thinking of anyone else being there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I've only really watched XQC's like gambling streams, like, you know, I don't know, 1 or 2 times, so I don't really know how the others do it. I've tuned into trains like 1 or 2 times, and it was pretty similar. You know, there's like multiple people in the call. You know, sometimes it's low energy, sometimes it's high energy. To be honest, I don't really understand like what the point of watching low energy gambling is, but
who knows?
you know, it's not really my doesn't really matter what I think, I guess. I'm not the one watching.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that either, but I probably never will.
But we're at 53 minutes, so we should probably wrap up.
Very well.
Is there anything else you guys have to say?
Basically, tying in multiple different things about Kick and people's perception, not being able to make everyone happy, and all this stuff. The other thing with Kick, and like obviously Kick is still growing anyway, but a strange thing with Kick is that it has a stigma and has for a while since like.
How old is it exactly?
Well, like since last year, basically, right?
I was about to say
most
it's like
part.
not even a year, right? Or maybe it is a year by now, but not much more than that, I don't think.
Founded in October 2022.
Yeah, so that's not even a year old.
Yeah. So basically, you know, despite what you may think of Aiden Ross or this, that, and the third, there is kind of undeniably a stigma now with Kick amongst people. Is that like it's kind of the like it's like
Bad
a
George go on there.
Yeah, kind of like a bastion for the right, and you know, like political party, like it's a bastion for the right and whatnot, and you know, edgy people, and there's Nazis all over it. Since Aiden Ross apparently had a Nazi, I can't like, you know, I can't really confirm that, but apparently he had someone on stream that was like a white supremacist or something. I don't know, but you know, Aiden Ross was.
I mean, that shit gets thrown around everywhere nowadays.
That is
like everyone's
true,
called a fascist, pretty much.
That is true, but without knowing, I can't really say. But that is for sure in the public eye. That's what people were saying, is that he had a Nazi. That is a fact. If the person is or isn't, I wouldn't know. I didn't look into it. But you know, as well as, you know, Aiden Ross went there and immediately started bending the rules of even Kick, and Kick was less strict on its terms of service than Twitch. So when that happens,
have to ruin it for everyone.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, as soon as, you know, basically as soon as Kick got off the ground, Aiden went there and started bending the rules, and he's one of the biggest streamers on there. So, you know, Kick kind of had a stigma immediately, and I don't think it's really warranted for Kick itself.
It doesn't really sound fair. Honestly, you would
I don't
think
that's fair.
that might get them viewers just because
It's also
people
true.
are tired of censorship. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I would probably rather support a platform that has very limited censorship, and the only things that are off limit are things that are literally illegal and just vile. Like if it's if there's, you know, illicit sexual shit going on, I can understand. Hey, like no place on the internet should have any of that shit. Like we don't want any of that shit. We don't want people being harassed. But pretty much everything else, I feel like, should be free game, like fair game.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to speak your fucking opinion, and a platform shouldn't be telling you, "Hey, shut the fuck up." Now you still, obviously, if you say something fucked, there's kind of repercussions, and people are going to like jump on you for it. But I don't really think it's a platform's place to be like, "Hey, like we don't want you saying that shit."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, take us back to the Wild West of the internet, where
Yeah,
if you
pretty much.
you know, back then, if you said something messed up, people didn't really have a problem with it. Now they would. So
Yeah.
now would be even more of the Wild West. Let people say what they want, and if they get dogpiled, let them get dogpiled. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have said that fucked up stuff.
Right, exactly.
I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying.
let the internet govern itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go
pretty
back.
much. I
like
think
I
I
said,
would.
back
I
to
think
the
I would
Wild
like that
West.
more. I kind of agree with that.
Well, guys, this is Lucid Rain. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.